Hi guys, and welcome back to another World Painter tutorial. So we're actually going to get started on a project today, and I'm going to kind of, as I'm doing a project obviously, which is going to be my new medieval map, I thought I might as well do some tutorials on some of the stuff that I'm going to be doing. So firstly, one of the things that I did struggle, well, that I struggled with doing World Painter straight away was kind of like how to actually make a map. So one of the things you do is, cause obviously you can play around with this, but if we go onto File and then New World, you'll see that it comes up with a name. We're going to make a pretty big one. I would not advise you guys doing this, but yeah, I'm going to make a pretty big map. Actually, I think I might have already made one, but let's go through the New World stuff anyway. So what you've got first, and what you got to keep in mind, is that Minecraft is a lot bigger than you guys probably think it is. To give you guys a kind of idea, the Isles of Drakos map that I made quite a while ago was, I think it was like 12,000 by 8,000, it was something like that. So we don't want to go that big, but we're going to go, it's quite big anyway. Now, one of the things that I'm not great at is actually building the maps themselves, or the original maps even, like to actually base it off. I'm quite good at the world painter bits. Now, as you guys know, Isles of Drakos was based off of Iceland, and then I kind of just edited it. Well, not really edited it. I added a load of other stuff and changed bits of the train and things. But I imported that onto it, and you can actually do that with World Painter. You can actually put a map onto it. So one of the ones that I've actually found just by typing in fantasy map on Google Images is this one here by Behance, I think it is, or is on Behance.net. Sorry, it's on Behance.net. And this person has spent some time and built this thing. So I think that's this guy. Is it this guy? I think it might be this guy. Yeah, Milan Vasek, so credit to this dude for doing this. So what I've done is I've grabbed that picture, there we go, and I've got it down here. I've actually edited it. So all I've done by editing it is I've just added on what I want my different styles. You can see it's very, very, very busy, but I'm going to be building this map as my, oops, you can see me messing around with other stuff there. That's where is that? That's freaking Hawaii. That's Pearl Harbor. That's from another time. That's very, very old now. But all I've done is I've just put on different names and things like that. But I want to import this onto into World Painter, and then I can actually just use the base, because I'm not great at doing like rivers and stuff like that, and where that happens, and coastlines. There is stuff on this map that I don't like, but in general we've got icy stuff. We've got a swampland in the middle. We've got a desert part over here. We've got a couple of islands. I'll put more islands onto it, and we've got some like mountains, which I'm not great at doing realistic looking mountain ranges from just playing around. So this gives me a really good guide. So how many pixels is that, I wonder? If I do properties, so I've got this one as, if we go to details, so there you go. So it's basically just full size, so it's 1920 by 1080. So I'm actually going to do a very, very large map, because I've been planning on doing a very large map for a good time. And I'm going to make it really easy on myself. I'm going to do it essentially 10 times that value. So I'm going to make it really easy for myself. And I'm going to call this world new, I don't know, new map. I did have a name for this that I actually found, but I can't remember it. One of the other things you have now, you get a preview essentially over here of what it will look like. You can do it as a circular world. I don't like the circular world. I'm not keen on it, but you can do that. You also get to choose your height, so if you guys are using a mod to extend your height, then you can actually use this. So you can go up to 2048. One thing that you'll find with Minecraft is 256 is not as big as you guys might have thought it is. So yeah, you can do that there. Speaking about mods, there is a little option down here, which is called Extended Block IDs. Now I'm going to be making my map essentially for the Conquest mod, Conquest Reforged mod. So I'm going to be clicking that. That'll allow me to use mod IDs, extended ones that are higher than 255 but lower than 4096. So as used by very mods, as it says. The next thing we're going to do is you get topography, which you can have hilly, like you can see on this side. I don't know if I can actually. Yeah, there we go. I can make that bigger. Cool. Don't think you could do that before. I can't remember. But yeah, you can see that it's there. It's all hilly. This will give you a nice little preview. And you can obviously change a load of those settings and do different hill heights, and you can make it really horribly square, apparently. Or you can make them like more rounded and quite a lot. Horizontal hill size as well. This is to do with how big an actual hill is. So if you go up, you'll make very, very big kind of sloping hills, I guess. We're going to be doing flat because I always start with flat. And then you get to choose the level. That's the starting level. So you'll see that if I knock it down, it went to this weird beach layer. If you turn off beaches, you can turn off that. And then after that is underwater, right? So because I'm going to be doing this island, if I bring that map up again. Ooh, I need to click on the thing. There we go. Bring up this map again and I'll keep this up. Because I'm going to be doing it as an island, I actually want to draw onto it to create these bits rather than it having the other way around where I cut out the water, I guess. I'd rather do it bit by bit and build it up that way. So if I want to change the coastline, I can do. So I'm actually going to have mine all the way down to level 1. So there we go. Now, surface material, that'll be what's on top. Also, the water level, I usually take this down a bit. I've never needed more than probably about 30. Default Minecraft is 62, which is massive if you've ever gone all the way down to the bottom of the ocean. It's huge. I'm also going to turn off beaches. So you can do lava instead of water. I don't like that one. I'm not too keen on it. I'm just going to call it a new medieval map as well, otherwise I won't know what I'm talking about. Different materials that you've got for that. I'm going to use permadirt as underground. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to use sand because it's underwater, so that'll be nice and simple. You can do advanced, and you can then do your different layer type of thing, where depending on where it is. That's mainly for hill stuff. But yeah, if we're going to start with water, we'll do it like this. The seed is also water, so I've got an absolutely gigantic map. If we press create, it's going to take a while. Now, again, when I went through the RAM settings, probably noticed that this will take up a lot of RAM. And this here down at the bottom, let's have a look. There we go, memory usage. So it's already used up 902 meg just for opening up this map. As we start to zoom out, that should increase. So we're now zoomed out right away. It didn't actually. They've made it more efficient. It used to actually lag out a little bit. One of the things we're going to do, and what happens when you put on an image, is it will actually create a little bit more lag. So if we go onto this, we grab that picture that I had. Map HD edited. Wow, that's good, isn't it? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale it up by 1,000. Can I do that? Yes, I can. And then you can see that down there, it's on there. So the little map pictures are there, a little picture frame type thing. And we just grab that, we've scaled it up. Transparency 50, that sounds about good. Offset is going to be, what, 1. You have to kind of play around with this until you get it where you want it. Okay, it's going to have to be a lot more than that then, isn't it? Minus 1, 0. Probably an extra factor of 0. No, not. Tool. I'm guessing that's going to be all the way over there. So that means that we need to divide. Let's get out the calculator. That's what I like about Windows 10 at least. 19200 divided by 2. I should be able to do that in my head, to be honest. What was it? 9,600. Right, so minus 9600. That should. That looks right. There you go. So that's fitting. So this is why at the beginning I did exactly the same measurement. It just makes it so much easier. But you can, obviously, it doesn't have to be the same size. I really should be able to do that in my head. Right, there you go. 5400. And what that'll do, there it goes directly on top. That's our map. So what you'll notice is it's a little bit laggy, or it should be a little bit laggier. Memory usage has gone up a tiny amount. They have done, the dude that made it, World Painter, must have really optimized it. But what you'll notice is it's a little bit laggy. Now I think that this is due to a setting, so this is taking a while to load now. I've got a feeling in preferences, pretty sure, on performance, there you go, scale on load. Yeah, let's do scale on paint. Scale on load, so optimize on load, scale on paint. I'm actually going to do scale on load. So there we go, let's do that. So there we go. That's really laggy, isn't it? It's because I've got such a big map. I might have to extend the amount of RAM that I've got. If at any time, guys, you want to turn off the map, all you need to do is just disable here. So that's really useful. Like, look at this, it's really clear now, and then this is quite laggy. So I might end up reducing the size of my gigantic map, because I don't think I'm going to need one this big, but we'll see. Other stuff that you can actually do, obviously, if you wanted to change that picture or any of those settings, you can't get to it now that you've actually turned, or you've got this option here, right? So if you go onto view, you can then go on to configure view. It's not as clear as you think it is. It took me a little while to find it. But if you go on to configure view, you'll then see this again, and you can do stuff like a grid, which can be useful if you're doing, say you want half of the map to be desert. You could then have a look at it in the grid view. I think I've just lagged the hell out of everything. Let me actually just change this off and turn off the image overlay, which you can turn off from here. You can then obviously also change the transparency and all your offsets, and you can start playing around with that if you wanted to. This is like died. Just me trying to do it from here. Wow, right. I think it's because I pressed grid. It's actually died. So, in a second, it should come back, hopefully. Come on. It's not going to come back, is it? Right, guys, I will see if I can get this to reload again. I might have to start again with the loading onto this. But after I've done that, I will catch you guys. Okay, so I'm back. So I ended up having to crash out of the whole thing. I made a map too big. It was my mistake. So instead of going for 19,000 blocks going across this way, I've now gone for 14,000, which is still absolutely massive. It's actually bigger than my old one, my old Isle of Dacros one. But now when I have the map on top of it, look, I can move it around a lot more. So I think I'd like really maxed out. Pretty much, I just killed it. So there you go, guys. I've already scaled back my project. Look, this is a much faster loading. This is much more like what it's supposed to be. Yeah, just massively. So what we've got here. So if I go over those settings again, so configure view. If we take off the image overlay, and it's already actually stuck on this. It's done the exact same thing. There we go. No, it hasn't. There we go. It's cleared down. Right, so it might take a little while if you've got a big image. It's probably because my image is so big. One of the things we have is contour lines. This is to do with, especially with hills and stuff like that. You'll kind of see. I guess I'll show you guys what that actually looks like later on. Grids as well. There you go. There you go. There you go. See the grid view. That's what we want to see earlier on. This is really good for if you guys want to do, you know, like an island, and you want to have like X amount of blocks between the edge or whatever. You can then, you know, do that and definitely cut it down to the right size. Like for me, 200 is pretty good actually, or maybe even 150. I think. No, 100. Let's go for 100 and have a look at that. Did that just like resize itself so it's massive in a way? Probably. Zoom. Yeah, that's a bit better. So there we go. So that's like 100 blocks it should be. So that's quite useful. You've also get that up on the top here, so you get enable, disable grid. Same with the height contours. So if we just grab the raising tool, I'm just going to raise something out of. Yeah, let's do it really, really harsh, and settings are going to go up. So I'll get rid of this later on. There, so if you have a look at this horrible, horrible shape that I've created, that is not going to be smooth at all. God, that is horrible. Right, let's smooth it out as well. This is so bad. I'm just going to completely wipe this afterwards. So if we have a look at that on 3D view, I bet you it looks just hideous. Okay, so it's a blob. Made a blob, right? Obviously you can see it quite clearly in the Dynmap type of view, which is this one. But if we close that, you can see the contour lines. So if we turn that off, there you go, you can't see the contour lines. So it makes it easier, and you can actually just edit that to actually change stuff. Now, what I'm going to do, because I want to start again, I'm going to grab a really hard brush. I've got the flatten tool. I'm going to click on an area where I know it's the same as the other stuff, and I'm just going to go right over it. And I'm going to do it with an intensity of 100 as well, so that it just definitely does that. So, here we go. Killed that. But what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to turn back that image on, and I'm just going to go basically go around the edges of this map to give me a kind of a rough idea. I'm going to use some of the settings to do that. Some of it I'll do off camera, but I'm going to show you guys the tools that you'll be doing in a more practical kind of thing. See, I've got the Hobbit thing, and this is why I put the names on them, because it means it's easy. Even fairy style I've got planned as well, and Mayan, Incan, and Aztec are all together. Dinosaur, that's going to be... Don't ask what dinosaur's going to be. It's going to be different. But what we want to do, right, is first go on to Edit and Dimension Properties and Default Layer and Terrain. So we got 0. Anything above that will go to Sand. Now we had the water layer. I put that up to 30. So what I want to do is I'm going to create a new layer. And it's going to be at, well, probably like 32 or something like that. So we get like a little sandy beach by default. and that's going to be not dirt. That's going to be that's weird. It's doubled up. That didn't even 32. Whack enter. That works. There you go. I remember this now. So bare grass or grass. The differences between bare grass and grass. Bare grass will have no like a tall grass type of layer, and grass will. So up to you what you want of this, guys. We're going to be doing some layers on top of it anyway, but I quite like the grass layer anyway. So noisy, I just want to take that out. For beaches around water level. Yeah, we'll kind of show you what that does. One of the things I want to do, because I don't want to do the mountains and stuff like that yet, I'm going to have a pretty flat, so I'm going to have a very, very flat island to begin with. And what I'll do, the way we do that, is on the side options that we've got here, what we get is we get stuff like only on. So that'll be only on certain layers. Don't really need to know about that. You get above stuff except on, so we'll kind of go over those later on. But what we want to do is we want to use the at or below, and I'm going to do 33, I think. So I'm going to make a very interesting thing, I guess. I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to use one of my custom brushes. I don't know which one, probably the hill or mound one. I found out what this means. It's to do with the rotation of the tool. So if you rotate, it shows you where the top is, and it was to do with it being a bit laggy. But what we'll do, if we keep on raising up, this will get to a certain level, and then can you see how it stops? So that has gone up to 33. Now that should have gone to grass, actually. If we use the default layers. Let's have a look at why that didn't. So dimension properties, default layers, grass should have been at 32. Beaches around water level, if you turn that off actually, then we'll just do that. That's still sand. Why can't I figure this out? But all I'm doing is basically moving this out for the time being, and create quite a slow process. What you want to do, especially with edges, is you want to like zoom in quite a lot and really mess around with these. You actually want a shelf as well, obviously, for going down. Now, if I go onto terrain and just paint, no, don't want to do that. I just want to paint. There we go, painting. Oh, there you go. It does work. We just right click with that, it'll work like that. We'll do a global operation then afterwards, I think, if you guys remember that. If you don't, I'll be going over it again anyway. So there we go. So there we go. Get our green bit there. So if we go back onto that tool, I'm going to just go around this edge here quite carefully to build this. And I'm going to do stuff like cliffs and things like that in later episodes, as well as mountains. As I do them on this map, it makes more sense to kind of do 2 in 1. So, what I'm going to be doing is just flattening this out so I get an island, a nice island. We will be smoothing out this. At the minute, the shelf will be quite steep. So that's no problem. But, here we go. Let's do that. We're doing a really, really base thing. There we go. That's quite good, actually. Using the big brush here, it's actually pushed it out quite a lot without me getting it break through the water too much. So, actually, I think a big brush is going to really actually help me here. Because look, if I go for this and start pushing out, you can kind of see the ridges. So that'll be like the drop off, I think they call it. There you go. So let's go around this bit. What I want to do, make sure we kind of cut in here. I want to be quite sharp on this bit and make it look quite natural-ish, I guess. And this one has a little point as well. So what I'll do, so say if I wanted to do this as a global operation to put the grass on, and I'm just going to go right over here, I'm just going to whack a blob as well. So there we go. Got that just going up to there, and it'll just flatten it out. Like that. If you go on to, actually you can do it on here, a little globe over on this option, global operations, or you can go on to edit and then do global operations. What we're going to do is do reset terrain type to default, which is what we set. That'll take a little bit of time, because my map's so massive. It will take a little while. So we'll just wait for this to do its thing. Eventually, come on. But this is probably one of the most useful options when you start. If you want the whole island to have certain characteristics and things. There you go. There you go. Get the grass on top of that. Now what we'll do. Oh yeah. Also, this is a really cool option. This is the enable or disable showing the maximum far view distance. this enables you to see how big things are. So if you wanted this island over here, I wanted that viewable, I can go, okay, actually, if I'm on this coast, I can definitely see it. Whereas down here, if I wanted it viewable, then I'll go, okay, I need to pull this island a little bit so you can see it, so you can get interested in that bit. Especially if I was going to have a town right here, I might want to be able to actually see a bit of an island to kind of be quite interesting, I guess. But what we'll do quickly, turn that off, and contour lines I do want on, but I don't want the, yeah, I've got turn off the far distance. If we plonk our dude down using the set spawn point, so I'm going to point it on this, this one here, right? And I'm just going to do export as new Minecraft map, save, so there you go, that's a new thing. I've called this map called Yarrowin, I'm going to call it Yarrowin Dev, just so that I've got a difference, kind of like different thingamajiggy. And set a couple of the settings, like super flat, I want that super biomes, don't want any other stuff. I kind of went through this before anyway, so I'm not really going to go over it too much, but export selected tiles, because we've only done this. So this is what we've done so far, this is what it looks like without the map. We've essentially built an island. So all I'm going to do is just select around that, do OK, and export, and I'll let that do some, take its like time. While it's doing that, I'm going to launch my Minecraft. And I should have had this open, really. I love this, though. This new thing. Right, and... okay. It's fine. Waiting for this to load up now. Typical. But this is always really, really useful. So this is kind of like the base first step. And then what I'll do, guys, is after I've got that, I'll probably do the mountains. That's the next biggest step. And then we can go do some hills, and we can start smoothing everything together. That's the plan anyway, and then we can do different biomes and stuff. That's going to be another whole step. So let's let this load up. Next time I will definitely have this loaded because, yeah, there we go. Right, so let's have a look at the map. Single player. There we go. Oh yeah, YouTube, please kill me. Tell you what, I'm going to kill that one. There we go. I've gone to this one. So, called it Yarrowin Dev. Development. Right, so this is what we've got. Really basic, but first thing you can see, this is really sharp. If we were going to have this all the way, it wouldn't work. So, you can see how sharp this shelf is as well. Sharp this shelf is. Right, first things first, let's get some night potion stuff. There we go, so now you can see underneath the water at least. You can see what we've done so far. We're basically just going to be creating this rough shape, so we get a rough shape of a ginormous island. But what we've got is we've got horrible sand that doesn't really make much sense. This wouldn't be natural. This definitely doesn't look natural. So we're going to have to do some smoothing here to make natural shelves. But if we had, for example, this as a cliff, then that would be okay. You just want this all as rock instead. So, yeah, what we'll do anyway, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go around, and you can see what this grass does. This is what I meant by, instead of bare grass, you get stuff like this where it gets patches. It's quite nice for testing stuff, but we will be doing some other things where we get proper stuff down. So there we go. Little island thing, but it gives you an idea and sense of scale of like how big this thing is, and is that what the size that you wanted to, and stuff like that. So I'm going to go around the entire island and do that. And it's going to take me absolutely ages, but the next episode will probably be on stuff like mountains. I tend to do those first, especially because on this map... oops. So, see, this is my other planning thing. That's for modern. I will be doing some well-painted modern things. Because we've got some like cliffs, or not cliffs, mountains around here. I don't want to do the shelving parts of it yet, so we'll be getting onto that later on, as well as icebergs and things like that. I'm going to be doing some pretty cool stuff on that. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. It's really, really basic to get you guys started. Just making maps, just be aware, and do lots of tests all the time. Testing is so, so important for getting maps, because you'll see something on this, think that it's fine, and actually it doesn't work, or, you know, in this instance, I've noticed that this needs to be a bit more spread out, so I'm just going to click it instead, and it'll just extend some bits of it, but that's fine. Don't have to be exact. There we go. And this one up here, this going around this, I'd probably want quite a shallow channel, so I'd have to raise that up as well. So and I'll be using the out or below to do that. But yeah, guys, if you have any ideas for what you want me to do in this series, yeah, I've got some dwarven stuff to go on, so I'll be doing some dwarven caves again, but more advanced ones, as well as swamp areas and stuff like that. So anyway, that's enough chatting. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.